I really try to keep it simple when it comes to my camera gear. I like to keep my setup lightweight to carry to my destination and easy to use to quickly get up and running. And all of that without sacrificing the performance I need to get the shot I want. While I don't always carry a camera gimbal on me, they can be really nice to capture those specific shots with some added motion. But most of the time, I'll just leave them at home because they're inconvenient to carry and they don't set up fast enough for a quick shoot. Intro the Zhiyun Weebill Lab, the most simple and convenient gimbal I've used to date, but that isn't without its downsides. Hi, I'm David, and here are my impressions on the Zhiyun Weebill Lab. First thing, let's talk about performance, because I think that was the biggest criticism when this first launched, with it being a little wobbly in footage. But I've read they since resolved this in the latest firmware, and from my testing, I see the Weebill Lab performing no worse than the rest of my gimbals. Next, let's also address the size. While the Weebill Lab is pretty small and lightweight, it's not really any smaller or lighter than the original crane. The big difference though, upgrading from that crane to this Weebill Lab, are all the new features that do make it much more convenient to grab and go. These locking switches on all the axes keep the brackets from spinning around during transportation. They've changed how you adjust the roll balance so the arms will never overlap and interfere with each other for a more compact fold. The tripod built into the handle is perfect for resting the gimbal or aiding during setup. If you buy the optional quick release plate for the handle, which I highly recommend getting, that lets you quickly swap back and forth from this underslung mode, which is nice for getting those low to the ground shots, gives you an alternative way to stabilize the gimbal upright, and is the most comfortable way to carry the whole setup when not being used. The controls are also much simpler to use now with dedicated function buttons, a screen that tells you exactly what mode you're in, and a quick double tap of the trigger to recenter the gimbal, which I use all the time. You can even manually adjust the pitch and pan without needing to fiddle with the joystick. The arm bracket's lower so you can easily see the screen on the back of your camera. The quick release plate supports these Manfrotto or Arca Swiss plates, but if you use this included plate, it has a dual release function. So when you need to change your batteries or swap out the SD card, you can quickly take it off and pop it back on, exactly in the same spot every time, so you don't need to worry about rebalancing. All of those changes make for a significant upgrade in convenience and usability in my opinion, and are well worth upgrading for. But there are also some downsides to consider with this new compact design. Gripping the handle at the top to access the trigger button means putting your hand over the joystick, where you can accidentally touch it. This really isn't an issue for me with my hands and my loose grip, since I prefer to rest the lip on the back of my hand, but this may be a concern for others. The plastic construction of the handle doesn't scream high quality, but it is very comfortable with the rubberized grip, seems durable enough for my usage, and at least the gimbal motor section is mostly built from metal construction. The biggest concern when considering this gimbal is whether it will support the shape and size of your camera. To keep this gimbal compact, the brackets are pretty small and don't adjust as far as the original crane, which means if your camera's too long or too wide, it could hit the arm bracket during operation, or not even be able to balance. I'm using a Panasonic GH5 with a 12 to 35mm lens, which works perfectly fine, but longer or heavier lenses might not work. And if I try adding my own Manfrotto 323 quick release, since this is what I usually use, there's just no way to balance it with this configuration. And finally, I'm not a fan of the app. You'll need the app for time-lapse, wireless transmission, adjusting the motor speed and smoothness, and updating the gimbal, but it's not very reliable over Wi-Fi connection, and I don't find it very user-friendly, so I don't depend on it. So those are my quick thoughts on the Zhiyun Weebill Lab. This is definitely the most convenient gimbal I've used. It's not perfect for all situations, and it's not super portable to always carry with me, but it is the one I would grab for a quick shoot or a trip with its simple to use design. But hope you guys enjoyed this one. You know what to do, and I'll see you in the next video.